If you like 1990s music, keep watching. If you're into rock music, you're in the right place. If you like electronic music, keep watching. If you're into music overall, just stick around. You're about to experience something great. If you never heard of this song, I recommend you to go listen to it before watching. So last year on July 26, 2023, I had the opportunity to watch the Adam Eve special from Invincible, which is my favorite show, by the way. And when I heard this track, it just fit the scene so well. What a lucky bastard this chick is, man. So after I watched it, I made a promise to myself that I would discover the song and listen to it, but I put it aside for other opportunities to spend my free time. When I found out the name of the song months later and who made it, I didn't plan on listening to it next month, which was Halloween. And on the night of Halloween, I had the privilege to listen to the full song after anticipating for quite some time, and man, it was awesome, man. The adrenaline I got during and after listening to the song was amazing. I felt so alive. The guitar riffs, the electronic drums, the powerful vocals were perfect. The combination of these features led to such a marvelous sensation running through my body. This shit was so good that I had to listen to it again. I felt so energetic and my hands were sweating by the time the song was over. This shit had me ready to go to fucking war, man. Woo! The adrenaline rush I got took a while to wear off. That was how powerful it was. Yeah, maybe listening to this song before going to bed wasn't a good idea. It probably wasn't a good idea, but I don't regret going to bed with it. I made a good memory that I'll cherish in the future, like I am right now. This song was hype as fuck, and it still is. I still listen to it regularly months after I first listened to it. It's amazing. Thanks to Tigre, and thank you Amazon for adding the song to that show. Okay, so let's take a dive into the origins of the band, the song itself, and possibilities on why the song did not become a smash worldwide hit in '99, such as songs like Living La Vida Loca or Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. So yeah, let's get into it. Tigre is a band formed in New York City during the late 1990s, containing 3 members, being Kathleen Hanna, Joanna Feynman, and Sidney Betting, who shortly left with Tigre in 1999 and was later replaced by J.D. Sampson the next year to replace their role. Hanna being the lead singer, while Feynman and Benning helped with the instrumentals and backup vocals. Benning helped have Hanna and Feynman with their first album, left the band, then Sampson helped with the next 2 albums. When I first saw the name, I assumed they were French since they had a French name. Then when I found out they were American, I then assumed they were immigrants from France who became American citizens and then formed up the band later. Or maybe they were, I don't know, siblings that had French parents. I don't know, man. I thought they were a French band, but they made music in English like Daft Punk. But apparently I was wrong. They're not from France or have any links to France as far as I know.
And this is what Big Day Out says about us. So they're French then? Nope. These 3 riot girls are from New York City.
The reason why they chose Le Tigre as their name was because they thought it sounded powerful, which was the vibe that they were going for when they began the band and started making music. What Hanna, Feynman, and Sampson, and also Benning, wanted Le Tigre to represent was an advocation/representation of feminism and progression through means of expression through the art of music. In order to get some attention, one had to be powerful, hence the name chosen by them. According to Feynman in the Punk Singer documentary, which I recommend watching, Le Tigre aimed to produce radically political content that you can dance to. As Kathleen Hanna said in an interview with CBC, if you can't have 5 minutes where you can dance and be really goofy and have a good time with your friends, how are you going to expect freedom for the rest of your life? The band's journey all started when Hanna met Feynman in the city of Portland and quickly became friends after they both found out that they shared interests, particularly in music. Hanna, who recently left her former band Bikini Kill after 7 years of making music and performing with them, then decided to form a band with Feynman to make a fresh start in both of their lives. Hanna then discovered Sampson and recruited them into the band to record their debut album, which the group titled after themselves. The group then created their opening song, Deceptacon. So one day on the early morning on December 29th, 2023 at around 1:18 a.m., I found a fact that not only surprised me but also bothered me. I randomly asked ChatGPT, is Deceptacon by Tigre a mainstream song? Out of curiosity. The response I then received was Deceptacon by Tigre gained popularity within certain circles, but might not be considered mainstream in the broader sense. It's recognized among fans of indie and electronic music and has had its influence on its niche. Next, I asked, did it become a radio hit? And it basically said no. I then asked, why not? Then responded, sometimes certain songs, even if they're excellent, might not align perfectly with the trends or formats that mainstream radio stations typically follow, impacting their reach and frequency of play on these platforms. However, its impact and appreciation within certain music communities remained strong despite its mainstream radio presence. But I wasn't satisfied with that answer. I wanted to find a more insightful, more informative providing answer on why the track didn't become a booming hit. Meanwhile, Anaconda by Nicki Minaj in 2014 was a hit. So I planned on searching for an answer from the band themselves. Henceforth, I began making this video to not only find out myself, but to also share what I found out and also lead to other people discovering the song. Now, when I first saw the name of the song, I immediately thought it was a reference to the Transformers series because the Decepticons are the villains. And being a Transformers fan as a kid, I was extra compelled to listen to it. I thought since the song had electric instrumentals, I assumed that the Decepticons were going to be mentioned. So when I listened to the song for the first time, I was expecting Kathleen Hanna to sing, I'm like a Decepticon or something like that, since most songs in music say the title of the song during the track. But throughout the song, I never heard the title of it, which is strange. I wonder why the songwriters didn't include the title into the lyrics. I assume it's to throw off the listener. I don't know. Let's find out. So, I saw a website from someone saying that the Decepticons were compared to shady corporation companies that have no ounce of humanity. That they're like malicious robots. Like they were Decepticons from the Transformers series. Like how Decepticons screw people over in that series, the corporate companies in our world have also cases of screwing over musicians as well. So this topic that we're talking about could be the reason why they use the song title. I also saw on another website that the song highlights the deceptive nature of humans in modern society and how disapproving the material was of said nature. Another website that interpreted the song saw Deceptacon as an expression from the Tigre that they saw that society constantly attempts to mold people into a certain caricature, a husk of a body with no individuality that blindly conforms to whatever sort of protocol is given to them, and that this song represents a defiant South anthem to said character and to embrace one's generosity to oneself and to others. In other words, themes of defiance and self-discovery are consistent theme subjects from the song. One other interview that I found from a PDF online, which was written during the case of the Tigre's Deceptacon lawsuit against Barry Mann back in 2021 for a copyright case of the song Who Put the Bomb from the 1960s. Johanna Famous stated in an interview with Sasha Jeffin that Deceptacon had themes of deconstruction of existing music. All the masculinist values that run through that stuff at every level, at the level of who plays guitar, who made this note, that's what we thought about all the time. The Tigre aimed to not only create a political yet groovy track, but also wanted to rewrite the rules on contemporary music. The author said written PDF also revealed during the case that Deceptacon references Bomb purposely to put the working conversation with musical history and to poke fun at the simple way the narrator in Who Put the Bomb parrots or takes lyrics of prior artists. proving that Tigre aimed to communicate their thoughts slash message through the song. Tigre was charged for copyright by Barry Mann for creating a work that's uniquely theirs. I guess you could say Barry Mann is a Deceptacon. Another article I found proves this thesis on self-discovery being the theme not only the song, but also the whole Tigre self-titled album from 1999. That means Tigre is not only a slapdash collage of an album, but it's also an album charged with a sense of discovery of these three individuals figuring out what kind of sounds they can make together. One other person stated that the song expressed a lament on the lack of meaningful lyrics in popular rock, which may explain the random lyrics that are hard to follow, like the "Who put the rhyme rhyme ding dong" or the "Who took the bomb" kind. This implies that they use said nonsensical lyrics as a form of protest to music with bullshit lyrics by showing how nonsensical it is for their song. I didn't understand what they meant by "Who took the rhyme rhyme ding dong" when I first heard the track. I didn't even know why the song is called Deceptacon. Guess they must have proved their point. I mean, not even like any of the Deceptacon characters were mentioned, so I think that was what they were going for. It's absurd. Also, when I listened to the song and analyzed it, I couldn't understand what it was about when I first listened to it. Hannah's lyrics were so fast that it was hard to follow, and the instrumentals completely took my attention since they were so well done and unique to listen to. I also had no idea after I made a second attempt analyzing. I still didn't know what it was about, so I just assumed that the song had no meaning. I mean, the lyrics are pretty wild. Like, I don't even know what a bomb is, and I still don't really know what it is, even though I researched. Until I went on Genius to give me a more broader idea. Now, I know this might be considered cringe, but when a song is hard enough to be interpreted by itself, for me, I tend to go on Genius since they're pretty accurate with interpreting songs. They also do interviews and collaboration videos with other contemporary artists who come on and explain the lyrics in person. Also, I saw Todd from the Shadows use Genius for his "Your Woman" by White Town analysis video, which I recommend watching since it's similar to this current video you're laying your eyes upon. It's a great vid. Anyway, I've gone on a forum where many people over the years debated on what the meaning of the song is, and I gotta say, it was interesting to see different interpretations, different takes, and the thoughts of other people discussing an amazing song. One thought it was about rape, one thought it was about the meaning of life, and the majority concluded that it was a diss to some dude named Fat Mike from another band called NoFX, which happened to be true according to Genius. So basically, this Fat Mike guy pretty much dissed Kathleen Hanna years before the Tigre formed and started making music together. He criticized Hannah during her time on Bikini Kill and even referenced a time when Courtney Love sucker punched Hannah in the face backstage at a concert, which I gotta say is pretty damn crazy. There are videos on YouTube where Fat Mike's diss track against Hannah and Bikini Kill and the Courtney Love / Kathleen Hanna beef gets examined, which will provide more context on both subjects. You can check them out. While Fat Mike from NoFX was mentioned, that wasn't primarily what the song was about. Deceptacon was the debut song on their debut album, meaning that it's Tigre's first song that they made together. So they wanted to start off their introduction with a bang of feminist themes, so they began to write the song to spread their message. Kathleen Hanna and Johanna Feeman both wrote the song together. Each of the components of the instrumentals were created by each of the three members, Feeman playing the keyboard sampler while providing backup vocals, Benny playing the drum while providing backup vocals in the track, and Hannah herself acting as the lead vocalist to create an outstanding combination of music. But what does this have to do with the title? How does this explain why the song is named Deceptacon? Many instruments were used in the song, such as an electric guitar, synths, drum machines, samplers, and with a huge slash of powerful and aggressive vocals as an awesome byproduct. The verse "Who Took the Bomb" was based on Barry Mann's "Who Put the Bomb," which inspired the band to use it for their own song as a symbol of protest by showing their thoughts on how a lot of songs don't really have any meaning through their lyrics. In the Song is For episode, where they interviewed Tigre for Deceptacon, Kathleen Hanna revealed that she began the production of the track by using a sampler and guitar riff to start off. Then Johanna Friedman aided her by adding ideas that eventually led to the full instrumental that we know today, such as using a drum machine to add percussion.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, when we were just like practicing it, playing around, we were just like, oh, that sounds good. Like, it wasn't even something we were unhappy with or felt like we were compromised with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we started putting drum machines on it. The beat was made on an HR-16B Alesis drum machine. I went to just like a used music store in Manhattan and was like, what's your least expensive drum machine? And they were kind of hesitant to sell me the Alesis because they're just like, this is not, cool.
So what made you want that one then, if they were saying this one isn't cool?
I mean, that just sort of increased its allure for me because I was like, I want the thing that nobody wants.
Let's talk about the music video. The iconic music video uploaded by a YouTuber named I Am The Walrus featured a bizarre yet entertaining music video of a man named Miguel Gutierrez and another man, which was Gutierrez's friend, Howie Rickberg, dancing to a choreography to the lovely track. One of the biggest highlights of the music video is the origin story given by Gutierrez on one of the top comments of the video. You can possibly see for yourself. Who was a professional dancer at the time, and Gutierrez mentioned on a Facebook post that he made that he single-handedly created the dance and then taught it to Rickberg, since Gutierrez was a professional dancer at the time and Rickberg wasn't really familiar. Kathleen Hanna eventually saw the two before the dance and requested to videotape it. Both men accepted the request, and the rest is history. The video also became Deceptacon's unofficial but also official music video when the Tigre placed the same video on their official website, according to Gutierrez's YouTube comment. Thanks, Mr. Gutierrez, for writing this. I appreciate your comment. The weird but somehow fitting costumes were Rickberg's idea. It's not a high-budget video, but a well-made video doesn't necessarily have to cost millions of dollars in order to be good. There are many talented artists throughout the history of music that have not had big radio hits like Kanye West, despite having well-made music. One big factor could be that Tigre just didn't have the connections to big companies like Sony Music Entertainment and Warner Music Group at the time. They did get into a notable record label named Island Records in 2004. Perhaps if Tigre came into contact with said label back in 1999, then Deceptacon could have been a major radio hit, but also could have been ironic if a song with anti-corporate themes would be publicly distributed by major record labels. The Tigre in some interviews, especially in Kathleen Hanna interviews, have shown that they care more about the process of making music and having fun with the process itself, instead of trying to reach the big leagues, since they knew it didn't define their worth as individuals, so they rocked out while continuing to spread their message. Fun was the name of the game of Tigre. Kathleen Hanna, in her memoir Rebel Girl, My Life as a Feminist Punk, has expressed her joy on hearing positive reactions from fans to her music that she helped make, and also expressed how she takes joy on the simple things in life, such as admiring her house, eating foot-long sandwiches, which are yummy, by the way, and spending time with loved ones. I think with those factors in mind, getting public recognition didn't let her self-esteem become too overly attached to what came with being a man in there. I mean, the whole group of Tigre seemed to enjoy the journey of being a musician more than what came with being one, and the tour documentary proves this. They aim to publicly express themselves while acting as advocates for communities they identify with. I mean, just check out the YouTube video where they recorded Viz and their live performance of the same song in the documentary to shine some light on the lesbian community. The Tigre didn't become ultra famous, but so what? They're human just like the rest of us. Not everyone has the same goal. In Kathleen's book, she shared what she thought about the aftermath of Kurt Cobain's death, who she was close friends with. She shared her belief that one of the biggest reasons why Kurt Cobain may have done what he did was because he was tired of being mistreated by people, of not being seen as a human being besides a famous figure. The passing of Cobain taught Kathleen to be more cautious in pursuing fame since it can be disadvantageous. This type of realization is similar to what Kanye West had on the downsides of fame in his song Pinocchio story, where he was unsatisfied that he's not seen as more than just an entertainer after selling hits. Kathleen Hanna has also addressed her difficulties of dealing with her niche fame in the Riot Grrrl community, while acknowledging Kurt Cobain's huge mainstream success. JD Samson, on the other hand, revealed in an interview their personal thoughts on their identity, and they seem to be comfortable in their own skin, which is respectful to see in someone. But they weren't always like that. Samson has revealed in the interview video that you see right now on the screen, and in the band documentary as well, on how Samson's self-identity led to them doubting that they would be an appropriate official member of the Tigre.
When Johanna and Kathleen asked me to be in the band, I was very self-conscious about like being in the body that I exist in and stuff. Like, how am I going to portray myself? Like, how are other people going to like portray me? I think it was all kind of an experiment. What ended up happening, I think, was really beautiful, which was that like the world kind of accepted this new image of like female masculinity that they hadn't really like talked about before.
Samson's development from being unconfident due to their uniqueness to accepting themselves fits one of the themes of Deceptacon, which is self-discovery. Which is why I think Samson is a good fit for the band. They're a living embodiment of one of their messages through the music. Self-discovery. The Tigre's primary feminist themes might have had an influence in how mainstream radios received Deceptacon. One example that proves this is in the Who Took the Bomb for the Tigre tour documentary, where the band was overseas in Japan and were asked to appear for a magazine. And the band requested a magazine advertisement title to have specific labels to provide visibility to those that identify with said label. But the press refused due to the requested title not being aligned with the kind of image they, the company themselves, wanted to present. Here's a clip of it right here.
Jane Magazine wants to run a one-page ad for us, pretty much.
The text they wrote was really pretty bad. It was
like, have Le Tigre in your own backyard, meow. You know what I mean? It's just super cheesy. So
pump up your boombox and get your sun visor on or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just silly or whatever.
So we asked them to take out the word meow because we thought like that was really dumb, which they said yes. And then we asked them to add the words feminist and lesbian to the print. And they said that they would put the word feminist in, but they won't put the word lesbian in because they think the sponsors are too conservative. So now we have to decide whether or not we want the ad to run. And we all feel pretty torn about it, I guess. I mean, it just like hurts my feelings a lot.
The Tigre was put in a position where they attempted to portray themselves, but they were rejected by the public eye due to not aligning with what the general public would be interested in. I believe it's safe to say that a similar situation happened when the self-titled album dropped, and even when this Island released, despite that album doing fairly well on sales records, maybe the self-debut album was just too ahead of its time. I mean, how is it that Deceptacon doesn't become a hit, but Anaconda by Nicki Minaj does? The music industry is clearly biased, and you shouldn't really take biased people seriously, and I'm sure Le Tigre knew this too during their career together. It would have been ironic if the song did reach mainstream success despite criticizing major corporations, but then again, it did happen to the Smiths when they expressed anti-consumerist views through the music, and one of the albums ending up reaching #1. The more I learned about the Le Tigre album, the more I found out that it wasn't a popular album because the general public didn't know about it. If the band implemented advertisements, then that would have increased public exposure. What made me believe this is seeing them perform live to promote their This Island album on the Conan O'Brien show, which is on YouTube, and also on tour. It was common for indie bands to not have their first album to be publicly promoted, such as the Pixies, Sonic Youth, and even Nirvana. I do think that if Tigre accessed a major label that exposed them better than Mr. Lady Records have, then maybe they would have reached a level similar to the Smiths, but which public again, despite having similar values of going against the status quo like Tigre does.
I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a stitch to wear.
You know, growing up and seeing dance trends like the Whip and Nene, the Running Man, and the Juju on that beat dance, I never really got the hype and kind of felt left out since I wasn't as interested in those trendy dances as the masses were. But Deceptacon, boy, this track made me want to dance when I first listened to it. Not just dance, but I don't know, just do something that requires high energy, like, I don't know, fighting to the death. It still makes me energetic when I'm in the mood to listen to it. Hell, I love the song and the music video so much that I took the time to clean the choreography just for fun. Like, every time I'm in the mood to listen to it, I get so excited, and sometimes kind of nervous too, because I know it's going to be a great song. I've been listening to it for months, and I'm still in love with it. No song has ever done that as well as Deceptacon has for me. Sure, I unintentionally overlooked the lyrics when I first listened to it a couple times, but I'm sure that Tigre understands. And I'm not the only one who's in love with this song. I've seen people do dance video tributes where they record themselves dancing to the choreography of Miguel and Howie's Deceptacon / Aerobicon dance. I've also seen people recently discover the song on the comment section of certain videos. People who discovered the song this year, and they shared their first thoughts about it. I mean, this song is so good that it made me check out some movies and a couple episodes from TV that also use this song as the soundtrack. And one of the movies being a Norwegian movie named Reprise. Now, when I first watched it, it was pretty boring, not gonna lie. But when I watched it again a couple months later, and actually took the time to actually engage into the movie as a viewer, and I actually liked it. I actually liked the movie. Rewatching the scene that had Deceptacon made it even better since I wasn't as eager to see the scene in the movie compared to when I was only interested in hearing the track in the movie the first time I watched it. I accidentally discovered a good movie thanks to this song. Thanks to Tigre. I mean, this song just screams youth every time it plays. You can see adrenaline flowing once you let the song take over you. Woo! I was searching on the web and found a forum where the Tigre album was reviewed. And here I found one person stating, most people probably know Tigre for the god-awful Pro Hillary Clinton 2016 single. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Let's not talk about that. But before all of that, long before that actually, they dropped a really solid Riot Girl album that brought together the genres of dance punk, noise rock, and electro clash in really novel and exciting ways that haven't lost their magic after all these years. A comment which was written in January 2024, mind you. Truth is, this song will most likely be remembered for years to come and have more fans of it. And I think Tigre is proud of that. Although their works haven't reached mainstream success due to their feminist themes not really matching with what popular corporate music companies are looking for, Tigre's work have most definitely not been in vain. I mean, the fact that Tigre's first track together, Pre-Samsung, is their most popular song, that's impressive to say the least. Tigre has not only made Deceptacon, but also made catchy tunes like Fanta, VVMD, Much Finer, and Let's Run, which led to me discovering the Better Luck Tomorrow movie, which is another great movie, by the way. I'm telling you, man, why does Tigre always have to have good movies attached to it, man? I don't understand. I don't understand. Can't be a coincidence. Also, Fake French and more songs on the album, which I highly recommend, are also notable as well. And I gotta admit, finding out that Miguel Gutierrez was in his late 20s or early 30s and yet was dancing like a teenager inspired me as a young guy to try to maintain my youthful spirit as I get older. Very inspirational. I mean, the song is so catchy that some guy in 2004 made a post on a random forum asking which song Telus used for the commercial that he saw, and some kind fellow reviewed it to be Deceptacon. If a song used in a random commercial catches one's attention and makes a lasting impression on one's mind, most times it's because it's a genuinely good song. He didn't hear that song that much, and he was already intrigued to find the full song. I mean, that says a lot. Tigre move. But Tigre has also had an impact on the music industry by being one of the inspirations of popular contemporary artists, such as Olivia Rodrigo.
It's amazing. I mean, I heard from Olivia Rodrigo that she was influenced by Bikini Kill and by Tigre, and you know, she's out there, a mainstream pop star who's working for women's rights, publicly working for women's rights. And I just think that's so amazing to see in the mainstream.
They even attracted the attention of Christina Aguilera, which led to her asking them to help write and produce for her Bionic album. I think it's safe to say that Tigre made a significant mark on music and will be remembered for years to come. If any or all the members of Tigre see this vid, I just want to say thank you for not only making Deceptacon and the rest of your discography together, but I also want to thank you for being yourselves. I respect the values you have as a group, especially with inclusivity and the DIY mindset. Your interviews and media are insightful. It's why I respect you. You help me learn that feminism isn't about the belief that women are superior to men, but that men and women should be humanely treated equally. You help me learn that feminism isn't about the belief that women are objectively better than men, but the belief that women and men are equal as human beings. They may be different, but no gender is better than the other. If the members of Tigre were anti-men, would Kathleen Hanna work in a band alongside men? Would Samson work with a male or even perform for a band named Men? Would Johanna Fame have done an interview with a man? Would Kathleen Hanna have married a BC boy? She did write that she was in love with her husband, so I think writing that and also being a man hater would be sort of orthodox.
What's the difference between having a guy and a girl, say, working the soundboard? Like, why does it have to be all women?
I don't think it has to be, but we love it that it is.
So thanks. Thank you for making my favorite song and helping me broaden my perspective. But despite knowing this, I still see dudes online make fun of feminists because the stigma still remains with the label. I think it must be because of the bad apples making the chill feminists look bad. Maybe with more public visibility on the true narrative of the movement, the stigma will go down as time passes. I recently found out that Tigre will be touring soon on their Song Exploder episode. So if you enjoyed this video and are interested in the band's music, consider coming to see them on tour if you're able. You would owe it to yourself. Believe it. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Feel free to give a comment, whether for an opinion or just plain constructive criticism. This is my first video project that I spent months on, so be gentle. See you later. I'd like to make an unsponsored promotion to Song Exploder, a podcast and also a Netflix show that has musicians come on and describe the creation process of their work. Randomly discovered the Tigre episode days ago when I was almost done writing my script. Be sure to check it out. I'm about to watch the what was it called? Love Me Again by Dua Lipa. They made an episode with her. I think she's gonna be talking about that as well. Yeah. Haven't seen it yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list. Wait, can you give unsponsored promotions? You know what? I think it's okay. I'm not getting paid, so what's the big deal? Shout out to Poetic Wax for also making a Tigre video. Saw it recently, and it was also pretty good. Give him a watch, why don't you?